Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 1, Chapter 16, Black and White. So as with my other RWBY reactions, this video will only include me. If you would like to watch the actual RWBY episode along with me, you're going to have to open that in another tab or another window or download it or something. But yes, I'm going to be using this one. It's just from Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel under their RWBY playlist, so go ahead and click this annotation right here. It should link you right to it, and I will give you the timestamp so you can sync it up and everything. But yeah, I'm going to be using this one, so for proper synchronization, you should probably use this one too. So to quickly summarize the last episode, the Vital Festival is starting. Like, it's coming along. You know, it's gonna happen soon. I think it looks like people are still in setup phase. But, you know, there are gonna be all these visitors, and it's about cultural appreciation, which Weiss found all cool, but then she was super racist about the faunus, and we saw a monkey faunus boy, and we met Penny, this really quirky girl. And apparently she and Ruby are friends now because Ruby called her friend, and Penny was like, "Really? I'm your friend?" You know, and that kind of stuff. And even though everyone was just like, "No," Ruby said yes. So yeah, that's a thing now. But then Weiss and Blake were bickering about, because Weiss was just using all these slurs about the faunus, and, you know, Blake wouldn't have any of it. And then we learn at the end that Blake is actually a faunus herself, which I thought was the most important part, which I thought was the most interesting, the coolest, and I really like Blake a lot more now, and I hope that that doesn't change, like, or get worse at least. I hope that I only come to like her more as I get to learn more about her. But I think that a big focus of this episode will be looking a little bit more into Blake's, well, backstory, or just who she is as an individual, and how the faunus all tie into this story. And I assume we're going to get some fighting because it is the end of Volume 1, and so to go out with a bang, you know, you probably have to have some combat, and with the tournament in the Vital Festival, it would make sense. So that's pretty much the last episode and what I expect for this one. I don't have much else to say, and I don't want to ramble anymore, so with that, let's get to watching. Alright guys, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play, so for the best synchronization, press play when I say play. There you go. Alright, 3, 2, 1, play. Yep, RWBY intro. I wonder, actually, at this point, since this is the end of Volume 1, if they're going to have a different intro for Volume 2. I wouldn't be surprised because that's how shows, especially like anime sort of show, you know, tend to work. But at the same time, a lot happens in this intro that we have never seen yet. You know, like Yang with the motorcycle, like them, all four of them with the black cloud of death, and all the Grim Beasts. So I kind of think it's going to carry on, but it could change. Anyway, yeah. 2 days, huh? What's his name? Zen? Yeah. Once, briefly. Oh, not briefly. Oh. Oh. Aw. I mean, that's cute, but it probably shouldn't be cute. It's probably like, aw, little girl. Oh. Hmm. Out of fear. Mm-hmm. And that grin. Yep. Yep. Little wiggle. Kind of. On accident, just the barest form of it. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Um, it's high noon, everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going back the other way. Hmm? Uh, huge. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Right. She cares for the wrong reasons. Hmm. Yeah, pretty much, you know? Schnee. Where'd you jump from? A little different. Oh. If they're stealing that stuff, they're not being very subtle about it. Yep. Or at least it's people who are doing an awfully good job of framing them. I'm waiting to see Faunus body parts. Yeah, okay, he at least agrees with that. He did call them animals, but... Have we ever seen her fight before, actually? I can't remember. It's a very simple reveal. Oh. Oh, he has several of those. I would agree, not so little. Oh, it didn't seem nighttime in there, from their perspective. You can do this, Blake, don't die! I mean, she's not going to, but, you know. That was cool. Just looked like she ninja'd her way out of that one. Wait, though, if they're all faunus, none of them have tails? And all their ears are flattened? Alright, as far as fighting styles go, his is definitely one of my favorites. Props to Monkey Boy. I told you guys I like hand-to-hand stuff. Does she fight with her sheath, too? Ah, that's so cool! Okay, wait, so it's a quarterstaff, nunchuck, sawed-off shotgun mix, or... These weapons are so bizarre in this universe. Ow. Penny, go avenge your friend. Good. Oh. Confused, but okay. Little disturbed also, but also okay. I love how we're using blades, but it's so child-friendly. No blood, no dismemberment. I wonder if that's just because of the animation limits they have, though, you know? Wow. That definitely would have killed some people. Assuming there were people in them, you know? Yeah, I don't know at this point. I'm like, is she an android? Because that would explain her quirky behavior, you know? Hmm. Oh, hey, you two. Oh. You don't care? Yes! The Monkey Boy is pretty cool so far. Good. But I don't know enough about her yet. Queen has pawns? Who's Queen and who are her pawns? Oh look, the credits are different this time. I'll still wait quietly through them so y'all can read and listen, but yeah. Yep. So how's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. The credits are still going, by the way. In case anyone is just watching me, which I advise against. Special thanks to Crunchyroll.com. So, if they're thanking Crunchyroll, I have to imagine that at this point they've already had... Wait, Bare Naked Ladies? Why were the Bare Naked Ladies thanked in this? But anyway, with the whole Crunchyroll thing, they've already had contact with animation, or not anime, like, people, you know? Like, Crunchyroll's pretty high up in the anime world, right? So... I don't know. This credit sequence is the longest ever. I guess they're they're crediting everyone who participated in any of Volume 1, right? Because this stuff wouldn't all be in just the last episode, so... I guess all of this list right here is special thanks, which is a lot of people. All of our internet sponsors. The Incredible Ted. Okay, we're just about there, guys. We're just about there. There's the Rooster Teeth logo. Yep. Aha! After credit scene. Is this Iron Man? Hello, Fire Lady. So they are White Fang, okay. Okay. Alright, hey, you could well, actually, you could order that. So you could pre-order now? No, that's long done. You could just buy it. In Volume 2 and 3, I'm sure, at this point. Alright, well, time to talk about this episode, then. So, this episode was 15 minutes and 29 seconds long, including the opening and the, you know, the rather long credit sequence, along with that little ending scene. So, first to talk about that ending scene, I didn't really understand what it meant exactly. Is that the first time we learn his name, which I believe was Roman? I don't know. But, you know, so he is her inferior. I didn't recognize the two people that were standing behind her. Granted, I didn't look at them too long because my attention was mostly on her, considering she had fire, and her fiery eyes were fiery, etc. But I didn't, you know, when I did look at the two, I didn't recognize them, so I don't know if I was supposed to, or if they're just gonna come up later. But yeah, apparently they are definitely working for the White Fang. I wasn't sure even during the fight, because I figured that, you know, when Blake brought that up, he could have just went with it. Because again, like, part of my skepticism came from the fact that of all the White Fang people we saw there, you know, all in uniform, none of them had tails of any sort. And, you know, not that that's the only quality, because, you know, we've seen the bunny, and we've seen Blake, you know, with ears instead, and that's the only, you know, animal feature they have. But, you know, if all of them had ears, which is possible, I guess they're just hidden beneath their helmets or something. And maybe they have another kind of quality. I don't know if fur is everything, or claws, or snouts, or anything. They didn't have snouts because helmets too. But I don't know if that's a thing with any of the faunus. So, yes. My favorite part, again, about this episode, is learning more about Blake, which, yeah, I like her right now, and I hope that it only continues. Again, I hope that I only continue to like her more and more as, the series goes on. I do still want to learn more about the other characters. Like, I still want to learn more about Weiss, preferably at a time when she is not just being stupid. I mean, like, when she's not being all irritable, I guess I should say. Because Weiss, for the most part, has bothered me throughout this. Even when she's, like, explaining her backstory or even trying to be nice, she still comes across as not so much. You know? And this is not to step on anyone's toes, of course. If she is your favorite, as with Nora in, like, you know, the episode 2 episodes ago that I talked about, you know, more power to you if that is your favorite, you know, Weiss or Nora. But so far, Weiss is just kind of rubbing me the wrong way. But, you know, I do see that she is trying, and so I'm glad for that. I would like to learn more about her, again, just in a better way, I suppose, instead of her just yelling at people about how, this is why my life is terrible, and this is why I behave this way, because my dad is rich, and I'm neglected, and we had wars and stuff, you know. So while I'm glad to hear about that, you know, I'd just rather in a different format, I suppose. Or delivered because of another reason that wasn't just angry. I am glad that, you know, the RWBY team is okay. They seem alright. You know, I mean, the big issue was just the conflict between Weiss and Blake. But, you know, as I had predicted in that moment, you know, Weiss didn't care. Like, she was fine with it. She didn't want to talk about it. Like, she still wasn't happy about it, but she was willing to move on. And so I'm hoping that that won't just come up again in the future. I'm hoping she's actually going to move on at this point, and that'll be good. It was really cool to see Blake fight. I did like her ninja stuff. I swear, unless it was just an animation thing, she would like be somewhere and then kind of poof back, and I thought it was really cool. And I really loved the fact that she attacked with her sword and with the sheath, you know? The sheath primarily, I assume, for blocking, but it was still really cool that she did actually incorporate that into her style. And Monkey Dude, I don't know his name. If I haven't learned it by this point, then don't tell me in the comments. If it's been said, go ahead and tell me, but if I haven't yet, just don't say it. I thought it was like Zen or something, but I could have just severely misheard. But I really liked his fighting style too. Like, especially before he took out the bow staff, but even afterward, it's still, like, melee enough that I like it, or, like, my preference. So, it was cool. But RWBY has this thing with weapons where it's like, alright, well, you know, a quarterstaff is not enough. What if we break it in two and then have those two bend in the middle and make them nunchucks? Alright, that's better. What if on top of that, we make each of the nunchucks a sawed-off shotgun, you know? It's like, how far can we go with this? Where everything has to have these multiple forms. Because, you know, like, RWBY's scythe is a scythe, but then it can also be a sniper rifle. And, you know, actually, I think Yang's gauntlets are really just shotguns, right? Or something like that. Do they actually have other forms? I don't know. We haven't really seen her fight, so don't spoil that. I mean, I guess kind of in the trailer, but that's what I'm pulling my memory from, where I can only picture her, like, fighting with shotguns. Or against the giant bird thing. We've seen her fight there, too. And I guess, does Weiss's have another form? I really only think of it as the sword, and then she has her glyphs, her semblance, you know? I don't know if her sword actually... I'm kind of expecting at this point, like, most things to have their melee component and then some sort of range, but thinking more about it, I guess that, you know, like, Jean's didn't. I know Ren's did, because it's like, has like the sickles, but they're also pistols. I don't know. So it's all weird, but it's cool too. Like, usually I'm not a big fan of like huge weapons and everything, but you know, so far I think that RWBY is pulling it off well enough, so it's like, it's not the drawing factor for me, but I can look at that and be like, all right, I can roll with this, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, that's in their credit, or in their favor, to their credit. So, as with my prediction, you know, in the last chapter, The Stray, I was right that Roman, or whatever, you know, mafia boss dude, I guess he's not the boss though, you know, he did make a move, but it wasn't the kind of move that I was anticipating really, and it didn't have as big an, you know, of an effect as I thought it would. But that just means that it's going to, you know, escalate in Volume 2, or possibly Volume 3, but I don't think they'd wait that long for that. Maybe, but I don't think so. So, you know, we did get to see a bit more of that. Like, he is working with the White Fang, which is a bummer for Blake, I'm sure. And so we just know that people with that kind of power are now, they have some sort of treaty, some sort of allyship with, you know, Faunus of the criminal kind. So that could be bad, especially I think for, yeah, the name of the Faunus, you know, when they're committing all of these acts, you know, people aren't going to, you know, come to understand them and sympathize with or empathize or anything. They are just going to, as Blake said, fear them, and that's not really something that you want, you know, because that only lasts so long. You know, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering and all that. So take that for what you will, but that could mean bad stuff for the future of the RWBY world. I mean, at least as far as the societal aspect goes and the relationship between human and Faunus. But yes, with this chapter ends Volume 1, so my overall thoughts really quick. You know, most of my stuff is about the formatting, because as I've talked about multiple times, these chapters I did not feel were long enough or contained enough actual content and substance to be chapters standing alone. So I feel, you know, if we were going to have normal episodes, then there would be, you know, much fewer than 16 episodes in this whole volume. I am curious to know how exactly they like put it all together on Netflix or the DVDs. I don't know if they made it like one big movie kind of thing, or if they just put some episodes together and some other episodes together and some other episodes together, you know. I don't know, and I am curious to know how they worked it out, and maybe they even did it differently on Netflix and the DVD of Volume 1. I don't know. But that is my biggest gripe, and that is why it came up the most, because it affected me the most, it came to mind the most, and so this being a reaction review kind of thing, I'm gonna, you know, voice my honest opinion on it. But I am definitely enjoying RWBY so far. I think that the characters are really great. That doesn't mean that I like all of them, and I'm not supposed to like every single character, you know? That's just not how shows or books or really any sort of media work. It's just, you can't like everyone, because, you know, everyone has different tastes. So that would be weird. I mean, I guess I could like everyone, but if I liked everyone, chances are you wouldn't like everyone, and you wouldn't like everyone, and you wouldn't like everyone, you know? Because that, I just don't see how that kind of, the personalities would mesh and everything. So really, that's what I think Volume 1 was. It was really just character introductions and a little bit about the world, you know? I think that Volume 2, people have told me in the comments, but just in case there were spoilers, I didn't really read those. I just know some people are like, Volume 1 was this, Volume 2 was this, Volume 3, you know. I think Volume 2 is going to be more on the world itself. Obviously, I do believe now that the characters are introduced, we're going to get a lot more interaction, and hopefully with that, a lot more development. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the plot progresses throughout this. The only real plot points that have come up so far are just, you know, there's Roman and the White Fangs and all of that issue stuff. We do still need to see the tournament. I assume we're going to see the tournament at the festival, so that'll be cool to see more fights and everything. And then just their schooling in general, you know, they're learning to become hunters and huntresses, and so that's definitely, you know, like an arc that's going to carry out through, I would imagine, the entire show. But maybe we'll reach a point through the seasons, or through the volumes, where they'll actually, like, graduate, and then we'll see them just on normal hunter-huntress duty. I don't know, and I do wonder what that would be like, because I actually don't know what it is like in the daily life of a hunter or huntress, and that, you know, I never really thought about that until just now, so it's interesting to say the least. But I don't think that I have anything else really to say, so as always, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. Please do not spoil anything for me. You can talk about this or any of the rest of Volume 1, but do not talk about the future, or I will be upset with you. So yes, let me know in the comments. Be nice to each other. I just want to have a friendly community, and I will not like it if you're mean. And it just goes without saying, right? Okay, cool. With that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!